Friends, enemies, and those who remain undecided, welcome back to the deck. This is the first time in a while I've used these settings, so we're going to assume it's working okay. Let me drag this up here. I haven't streamed on this channel in a long time. I want to, let me get the administrative stuff out of the way before I go full rant mode. Um, so I want to stream on here more on the regular. That is one of my goals. Um, but I'm paralyzed by choice, because it happens. I don't know what's a good day to do it. I don't know what time's a good time to do it. And with my sleep pattern issues, once a week, once a month, stuff like that. So I'm going to try and figure out like once a month to do it and then go from there. And then you'll occasionally have like these streams where it's just me ranting, where I just wanted to talk about stuff that I could probably make a video about, and I probably will make a video about, but hey, join me. And if you guys hear me repeating myself every so often, like I stop and then restart, it's not because I'm following a script or anything. It's I'm trying to learn to control my rhythm and cadence when I talk, so it's not as fast and chaotic as like you normally hear me talk, because that's a remnant from mental trauma when I was younger. So anyway, we got some light novels I wanted to talk about, and I'm assuming it's going to work okay. We'll find out. And let me actually double check my stream deck to make sure it's set up correctly for what I want to do. Yeah. All right, cool. Means I need to actually hit that now. All right, so we're gonna start with a light novel. I started reading last night, and I'm already on the third book. It's actually a pretty decent light novel. I am enjoying it, but it has some of the dumbest nights in all of existence. So, I set the stage for you. This is called taking my reincarnation one step at a time. This is the traditional isekai story. She is isekai'd into another world. She didn't die. The goddess just simply pulled her to the new world because her and a bunch of other humans on our world were born with mana deficiency. They were born supposed to be taking in mana, but they were born into the wrong world where there is no mana, so they were pulled to the world they were supposed to be in. This effectively makes them have infinite mana in this new world because they're constantly absorbing mana at a faster rate than they can expend it. This doesn't cause them any harm. It actually helps save the world, yada, yada, yada. Now, most of the people who are called inviters end up in the capital in one of the major cities. She ends up in what's known as the Dark Forest, which is like a very dangerous dungeon. Find out more about that later. And the person she ends up living with is a woman who goes by Nelly. Nelly is, if you were going to go do the traditional A rank, S rank, B rank type hunter, she's an S rank. She lives casually in this dungeon. Like it's a Tuesday for her. A wyvern goes flying at her and she punches it in the face to kill it. Type of person. So there is a side effect of people with high mana. The side effect is it makes people who have low mana or much lesser mana feel uncomfortable. It physically strains them. So if you're not careful with it, you will hurt those around them. That's important to remember because she's one of them. Nelly is one of these people. Her mana is so high, normal people find it uncomfortable to be around her, and she's not used to repressing it. So anyway, one of the premises to the first and second book is that Nelly Nelly would disappear for 3 days, once every 10 days, to go down to a village down at the bottom of the mountain, grab some supplies, and come back up. That was just understood. And the main character had to train themselves up so that they could do the same. Plus, they were waiting till they're old enough to like turn in like the hunting materials that they've been collecting themselves by accident. Because she doesn't want to fight. She's insanely powerful with magic, and the reason she ends up with like a lot of like dead animals and stuff like that to turn in is because a barrier she creates that reflects all damage that was meant to be at her back at its target. So like a wyvern tried to kill her at one point and killed itself. And there's examples of that, and they would she would turn those. She stored them in basically a bag of holding to turn in. So eventually, after like 2 years of getting ready and trained well enough to be able to get down the mountain safely and feeling comfortable to do it, like with the camping and stuff, she decides, hey, we're going to go do this. But first, Nelly needed to go first to handle some stuff. And if she didn't return in 4 days, the main character, she goes by Sarah by this point, would have to go herself. She would go herself down to the village and go meet a person named Chris, who's the master apothecary. These are all relatively important details. Well, of course, Nellie doesn't return in the 4 days, so Sarah goes down there by herself looking for Nellie. And I'm going to spoil what happens to her. Not that it's like, because this is not like, yeah, this is technically a major plot point, but to me, this is definitely a journey, not the destination. But a lot of the plot is built around people not communicating very well with each other, which is a central plot point to a lot of different like Japanese light novels and mangas, and that gets kind of annoying to me. But okay, I get it. But anyway, so the reason why Nellie didn't return was she had been turning down requests, not orders, requests, capital to go help with like the roving dragon hordes that would once a year go attack the capital because she was taking care of Sarah. And because Nellie's not really good at communication, she never explained that. Well, the day she went down there, she was going to explain that and tell the Adventurers Guild, hey, if Sarah shows up, this is what she looks like. Just tell her to wait here. That kind of thing. I'm fine. But before she got a chance, the knights who came to collect her, that's the word they use, collect her, use a paralyzing bomb to knock her ass out. Now, the one they used was strong enough to take down a dragon. And even she was paralyzed for 3 days, unconscious for 3 days. If they had done it to literally anyone else, it probably would have killed her or killed them. When she wakes up, the only thing that stopped her from destroying and killing everybody and then destroying the capital for good measure was because her friend Chris, the master apothecary, remember him, went with to one, make sure she was okay, and he's also in love with her, of course, and two, calm her down so she would actually help with the dragon horde. And then, as a note, later on, they don't find out she's an inviter until much later, but they see her as this extremely skilled little girl who's only 12 years old, but like able to like find healing herbs like it's nothing, able to use pretty advanced magic and just casually walk through areas where even moderately ranked adventurers are afraid to go, and stuff like that. And they're like, cool, we're going to recruit her for the capital. And she's like, I don't want to go. I'm here waiting for my friend Nellie. And they're like, no, Nellie's dead. She's abandoned you. Because Nellie's real name is Neferete. And that's what everybody knows her as, that or Nef. Sarah's the only one who knows her as Nellie. So there's that miscommunication right there. Even though she describes her, she's very fit, she's rather young looking, and she's got red hair. And they're like, well, there's only one person I know that's like that is Neferete, but there's no way that's her. Anyway, after all this, the knight who is trying to convince her to go to the capital finally says, I'm a high-ranking nobleman. You're coming with me. She's like, no. So they try to use the same paralyzing bomb, the same one they used on Nellie, on her. And the only reason she's safe is because of her barrier ability. Because, by the way, her friend, who's also a young but very skilled hunter, also they were trying to recruit. So yeah, that's the great idea right there. You force recruit them to go to the capital to serve your people, and you already know they're insanely powerful to begin with. I get the idea of nobles and stories getting what they want, no matter what, but this is bullshit. Like, these are some dumb nobles. Hang on, I'm testing something. I was just trying to see if that would work. All right. But no, ultimately though, it is a good story. It gets into a lot of the nitty gritty of like an adventure side. And she doesn't want to be a hunter. She doesn't want to go hunt monsters. She just incidentally ends up killing a lot because of her abilities, and they attack her. But it's a good story. I do recommend it. I'm on book 3. There's like 9 books. Take a look at it when you get a chance. We're gonna talk about anime. I do want to make a video talking about this. And this one actually pseudo has a script to it. So deal with it, hashtag deal with it. We've all seen the trope. You have the high ranking Duke's daughter or something like that who is getting her engagement to the second, first, whatever prince, and he denounces her at this big ball and ends their engagement and all that. And you're like, why doesn't she punch him in the face? And my answer to that is, how dare you? How dare you ruin the plot to this anime slash manga? Exactly what it is. May I ask for one final thing? It is a great anime. I've read the manga up to a certain point. but I really enjoyed. They did a great job doing it as a one for one. Highly recommend it. And it's effectively what it sounds like. The girl down here in the red dress, she gets her engagement broken off like at the very beginning, and her response is, "May I ask one final thing?" And he's sitting there like, "Oh, you want jewelry? You want this?" And she's like, "No, I want to punch you in the face." And then proceeds to go on a punching rampage because now that she's no longer engaged to the second prince, she doesn't feel that she needs to act like a proper woman anymore because she's always loved brawling and fighting. And that pretty much sums up Scarlet. If you need nothing else, it's really good for that reason. Like the absurd ability she has. Now it does make sense why she's so strong. She has a blessing from Kronos, the god of time, and she uses it to manipulate her abilities, moving faster or slower as needed. She's also really good at magic in general. Highly recommend it. Good anime. Take a look at it. There's actually another one that's not I don't have listed yet that I was gonna do. So Tomate. All right. We all know the standard trope of this one's more of a bitching moment. The banished court magician aims to be the strongest. Usual trope. I was banished from the heroes party and now I'm going to become the strongest person ever. Yeah, we all know that trope. Mind you, there's some that have that element to the story, but it's not built around it. Like one of my favorite is banished from the heroes party, now living the slow life in another world, or in now living the slow life. That's one of my favorites. It's more about a lot more of it does have the backdrop of like the hero and the hero's party adventure, but it's built around the main character and his love life. Not gonna lie, um, and it's not like it's he said she said will they won't they for like 2 5 seasons. No, like they're pretty much dating within like 3 episodes, 4 episodes, and then the second season is pretty much has a backdrop of him trying to find an engagement ring for her. Not even subtle. Really good. I do enjoy for that reason. But that's not what I'm talking about. The banished court magician, this one right here, the banished court magician is this guy. He's insanely powerful. Like he was a prodigy among prodigies, able to cast all the elements simultaneously, which only like 2 other people have been able to do. Was able to get to the lowest level of the dungeon that's built into the academy with his team, which is behind him, which they have the dumbest team name. It's like Everlasting Period or something like that, which I kind of get what it was supposed to be about, but whatever. And after he graduated school, instead of becoming an adventurer like they did, he went to the royal capital to become a court magician. And during that time, he went into their dungeon to help the second prince. I think it was the second prince. But their culture is built around if you're not noble, you're garbage to such a degree that he literally wasn't even allowed to carry a sword during his time traveling with the prince. Wasn't allowed to cast any flashy magic, was only allowed to cast support magic, and only if it didn't look cool. So when he was viewed as useless, he got kicked out after like being there for 2 years. So he has like a lot of self-confidence issues. So of course, once he's kicked out of the party, the prince's party starts falling apart almost immediately. And they find out how much he was really doing in the background, how he had written a whole guide for the next couple floors, and they ignored it and tore it up. And the king called his ass out for it. And he's like, "This is why I've given you no real job as a prince. I just don't trust you." So I said all that to say this part. Here's the part I'm bitching about. You finally had the confrontation about uh, this episode right here, episode 5. You finally had the confrontation between the prince and the main character. What's the confrontation? They have a quick sparring match, and bygones be bygones. That's it. That's the whole conversation. That's the whole revenge thing to it. Look, I watched the banished from or kicked out of genre for that spiteful moment of fuck you. That's my favorite feeling in any of these stories. Is that fuck you moment where um where the main character gets their revenge on the other person. And yeah, that's what they did. That was the whole revenge thing. I could I hate to have to phrase it this way, but I feel like this is that was the most flaccid way of handling it ever. Like like it's almost as bad as reincarnated to be the ultimate villainess or something like that. I forget its actual name. I actually really liked the anime until like the last 3 episodes, and then it's just like, oh, all this confrontation, all this escalation we've set up. Moving on to the last anime slash manga I have set aside. I started reading this manga, but it felt too much like Arfuente for me to want to keep watching it or to keep reading it and keep buying it. So I'm waiting for the anime to finish because like it's really annoying me so far. Just because of the last episode, not the last episode, the last episode I watched. This is my status as an assassin obviously exceeds the hero. You have the edge lord main character who is somehow OP, more powerful than the hero. Okay. So at least with Arfuente, he earned it. Like he got kicked into the bottom depths, and then he figured out a way to actually use his ability powerfully. And then you have a failure frame where it's just he did have an OP power, just no one noticed him. His ability was he was an assassin, and his stats by default were higher than everybody else for no fucking reason. And he didn't trust the king and queen, which is why he's not dragged into everything. That's the gist of like what sets him apart. So here's my problem. So one of his first companions is this elf princess he saves in the dungeon. She was currently being eaten by a slime. He saves her, and eventually they get teleported to back to her village, where there is basically a death warrant out for her. And they build up this whole situation where the whole clan, tribe, whatever of elves are being brainwashed by her little sister and wanting to hunt her, wanting to kill her for being a traitor. Set it up like there's going to be this big confrontation, like there's going to be this big fight, and there's like a small duel, and it's the little sisters explain that of the misunderstanding of why she thinks she was isolated before she mind controlled everybody or charmed them really. And oh well, let bygones be bygones. Bitch, you tried to kill me. Like understand forgiving your siblings, but this feels like another one of those goddamn Naruto moments where it's like, oh, well, I know you tried to kill me like 4 or 5 times, but we can be friends now. Yeah, fuck off with that shit. Pisses me off. So I've actually like put off watching it until that's done. Got one more. I didn't pull this one up originally. So there's like a weird subgenre of like mangas, yes, where it's like about food. Um and this is one of them. Um called Pass the Monster Meat Milady. I actually do like this one. Like I'm talking shit about all the others. I'm just trying to make sure I'm trying to test something with this. Anyway, Pass the Monster Meat My Lady. The whole story behind it is her and you find out her mother were trying to make monster meat edible because mana is inside of monster meat. If you try to eat it, it makes you sick. You can get nutrients from it that makes you sick. Her and her mom were trying to, because of a famine that happened, was trying to find a way to make monster meat, not make it where it doesn't make you sick. And they found a way. And she likes eating monster meat effectively. Like the sandwiches and stuff she makes look delicious. They show some interesting ways to cook them. But she's still ostracized until she meets the Duke you see behind her. He saves her from a monster, and then he tries one of her food, and he's like, "Oh, it's really delicious." And that's where the love story comes in. It's a good anime if you're looking for a good romance and with some food in it. It's good. I've read a bit of the manga. It's good. I recommend it. Now, the reason I'm saying all this is my one dumb gripe about it. I watch animes in both English and Japanese. I literally will watch them the same one in both, and that's because I like hearing the differences. The voice actor for him has a fucking awesome voice. Like he should not sound that good. Like, why did you hire Barry White to voice this character? Like, it's not literally Barry White, but you get my point. Like, I fucking hate that. Like, there's another one that I haven't watched in a long time. I think it's the Misfit of Demon Academy or Devil Academy or something like that. Hang on. Yeah, it's this one right here. The Misfit of Demon Academy. And I need to watch the last season, or the last part of the last season. And if you, the main character who's the black haired guy right here, same thing. Like he's got the male voice actor, English voice actor. Like you're like, God damn it, you should not sound that awesome. Like I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality to say he's got a damn sexy voice. Both of them do. I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality to say that. Anyway, those were the ones I wanted to talk about. I don't think the community has anything to throw at me, but let's see here. Is there any games I want to rant about or any game related news I want to rant about? So Tamate, I'm just going to go through my wish list real fast, see if there's anything in here that I was kind of ranting about. You know what? I was going to rant about Nintendo, but I'm going to put that off. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, anybody who's, like, seen me talk about it will know my rant about Nintendo. Oh, I'll show you the, like, two of the games that I'm just super looking forward to. Y'all aren't seeing my wish list because I don't want anybody seeing the adult games that are in. I mean, there's no adult games in my wish list. What are you talking about? Who told you that? Here's one of them. Code Vein 2. Fucking loved Code Vein 1. I really did. It's anime Dark Souls, and it's really good. Your character in Code Vein 1, you woke up as a revenant, which is somebody who requires you're technically a monster, and you're required to drink blood to survive. And your character is rather unique in that you can switch your classes and stuff. And some of this combat mechanics carry over into the from the first one. Um, really good, really good game. Now, Code Vein 2 is coming out in on January 29th. Totally gonna fucking play it. Now, the only problem for me is this: what comes out a few days after is Nihon 3. I've played bits of Nihon 1. I didn't like Nihon 1, and Nihon 2 I've played all the way through. Nihon 3 is already looking interesting. You're basically going to have two different classes that you get to play as, a samurai and a ninja. And you can flip between the two on a dime. So I'm looking forward to this. Now, my only thing I'm wondering is, does this take place during the Sengoku time like the first two did? Because the Sengoku time is such an interesting time in Japanese mythology. Oh, it's Sengoku era. They just said it right there. Because the Sengoku time is basically like their weird 100-year war. Actually, this looks like it's taking place in China because they said Sengoku and then Heian. No, Heian is still Japanese. So, I'm looking forward to it. 100% going to play this. If you want to know when I play it, I got my Jack Daedalus streaming channel. That's where I stream my games. I'll probably be putting out more regular content there too. Just haven't yet. Um, I think those were the two major games I'm looking forward to. I don't think that there's no special sales going on I can bring up to suggest. I still want to play the remake of Final Fantasy Tactics. I fucking love that game. Oh, that's a VR game. Anyway, well, that's what I got for y'all. Those are all the things I really wanted to cover, and I actually did a little bit more than I thought I would. Um, I think there's a couple light novels I could talk about, but I'm going to pass on that for right now. Um, yeah, I appreciate everybody who swung by, even if it was just for a moment. If you're watching this sometime in the future, give me your thoughts on this video. There's that nice comment section down below. Hopefully, I'll see you on the next one.